Peace, family. Welcome back to another one. Desiree D. Ray Wise, spiritual healing coach here. And please pardon my lateness in getting this live stream started. All right. Today we're going to be talking about the fact that women are flowers, the fact that we and flowers as women, we have so much in common. And this topic really came to me or was channeled to me a few nights before I was going to be doing the Awakening Divine Feminine Energy for Sacred Love workshop. I remember laying in the bed, trying to get some sleep, but at the same time, really thinking about what is the message that I really want to convey to the ladies. And I just kept on seeing and I just kept on hearing flower, flower, flower. And as I sat with that energy, boom, spirit just downloaded me with all of these wonderful connections that we have with flowers. Before I keep going, please let me know if y'all can hear me because I had to relocate because the technology was not cooperating with me. So please let me know if y'all can hear me because I do not have a microphone set up. I'm just speaking into the camera or speaking into the computer. Whoever's picking up the sound, I don't even know. Okay. Y'all are saying, yes, you can hear. Okay, that's absolutely perfect. Thank you. Can you hear good and clear? Okay, Dream said yes. If he said yes, then it must be good enough. Okay. So listen, have y'all ever heard Stevie Wonder's album, The Secret Life of Plants? Have y'all ever heard Stevie Wonder's album, The Secret Life of Plants? Okay. This album by Stevie Wonder is like what George Washington Carver was actually going through and experiencing back in those days when he was tapping in with the plants, understanding the peanuts and all of those things like that. If y'all have never heard that song, especially the ladies, I want y'all to go and listen to that song because in that, not that song, I want you to go and listen to that entire album. But there are 3 songs that you could listen to that would really activate that divine feminine energy inside of you and really help you to understand the connection between you and nature. One of the songs is called Black Orchid, okay, Black Orchid. And in this little presentation today, I'm going to show y'all why us and orchids are so interconnected. So Black Orchid is a song you can listen to. Come Back as a Flower is one that you can listen to. And then another one is called Flower Power. But all of the songs on the album are very powerful and very spiritual, and they really speak to the essence of nature and how we are so divinely interconnected with it, right? And so as I was thinking about how we as women are spiritually connected to flowers, of course, Stevie Wonder's whole album dedicated to plants. So if y'all don't know, with this album, what Stevie Wonder said happened was he spent, I don't know, a month, maybe a few months out in nature, right? Just secluded in nature. And what he was saying, because he's blind, right? Because he's blind, his divine hearing is on another level, right? Because he's blind, his ability to hear, his ability to sense and feel is heightened. So he says he's sitting out in nature and he could just hear the communication happening amongst the trees, the flowers, the birds, the bees, whatever. He could just hear this divine communication that was taking place. And so based off of what he was hearing, he went ahead and made an album all about the communication of plants and flowers. And so one of the things that he says is that like we have to really know that the trees, the flowers, the birds, and the bees, they got whole lives going on, right? We may be just thinking and admiring how beautiful the trees are, how beautiful the flowers are, how beautiful the butterflies and nature is. But what he is talking about really is that there's a whole life and communication happening between the flowers, between the trees, the birds, and the bees. And it's such a beautiful, beautiful album, how he really displayed this divine connection. So let's go ahead and get into it because I want to show y'all, ladies, that you are a flower. Like literally, you are a flower. And let me ask y'all this question because I was thinking about this also. What do y'all think came first, the flower or the woman? This is what I mean by that. Look at this. Do y'all see this? This is Yoni on Yoni on Yoni in the form of a flower. So we got this flower right here, this green one with the pink inside. That's a poppy flower, right? A type of a poppy flower. This other one right here is a butterfly pea flower, and we all know about the butterfly pea flower because a lot of us that do a lot of herbal drinking teas and things like that, the butterfly pea flower is very common in beautiful herbal blends. And then this flower right here is the tulip. But clearly, we see the yonis, the vaginas, the sacred portal of a woman. Clearly, we see them embodied here. Yes? Put a yes in the chat if you can clearly see the power, the beauty, the essence of divine feminine energy that is coming through these flowers. Right? Like, we can't make this up. And this is the obvious connection. Okay, this is the obvious connection between the flower and the woman, right? This is just like obvious, like here it is. This is the symbol that divine femininity, the yoni, the vagina, is God, right? Like, and so I asked the question, what came first? Did God model the feminine structure, right, the yoni, after the flower, or was the flower modeled after the woman? What do y'all think? What do y'all think it was? I want to know because, at first we know, according to the Bible, which could be controversial, right? According to the Bible, God had made all the plants, the birds, the bees, the nature, or whatever, and then made Adam, and Adam supposedly named all of the things. Now, of course, I'm just telling you the story as it is given to us, but not like the metaphorical essence of it, not the allegorical essence of it, just telling you the story itself. And then God tells Adam, go and name all of these things, right? Give them all a name. And then God supposedly from the rib of Adam creates Eve. So what do y'all think came first? The woman or nature itself? Okay. Me personally, I feel like the woman had to have come first, right? Because in reality, what I know about God is that God is both masculine and feminine all at the same time, right? The source of all creation is both masculine and feminine. And so it was modeled after itself rather than observing the flowers and saying, I'm going to make a physical woman look like that, right? I'm going to make a physical woman her portal into birthing life. I'm going to make it look like how I created all of these flowers. No, I think we as women were and are the ultimate creation, right? The ultimate embodiment of God. And then the divine said, okay, because this is the ultimate creation, let's make sure that these flowers all look just like that. That's how I feel like it happened, right? Which is such a beautiful thing because, like, this is like real life right here. Like, so many flowers and nature resembles the yoni. And that's not to take away anything from the men, because there are things in nature that also resemble a phallus. And what I think spiritually is that literally God is showing us the power and the sacredness that we are through nature. Like, we get to see ourselves. So this is why this is so important, right? Because a lot of times, I know at one point in my life, I did not take heed to my sacredness, right? I did not think that my yoni was this, like, we've been taught to like minimize ourselves. And it's such a big thing right now. I mean, you hear Sexy Red say, shake that asshole, shake, you hear all of these, conversations and music and programming around sexuality and like um, diminishing the power of it, right? Like this is just for pleasure, right? Or this is just for having kids, or this is just for a man's pleasure, right? So, like growing up, my mother, my grandmother, nobody, not even my father. Some of y'all may have a different experience where your father may have told you, all right, now keep that little kitty cat to yourself. It is sacred. It is special. It is this. No, I wasn't taught that. I was taught, you don't do it. You don't, have sex. You don't engage in intimacy because you don't want to have a kid, because you don't want to get pregnant, right? That was it. Not because this is a physical embodiment of God, not because God emulated nature after you. And so this is so important. It's important for us to see these beautiful reflections of ourselves. Because if we can see this, right? If we can see this, and I even think I want to share my screen, and I'm looking off to the side, y'all, because literally the reason why it took me so long to get started was because my desktop computer for some reason was not turning on. And so I had to come over here, which I love this office. I love the lighting. I'm right in front of the window. I love the green walls and the goddesses back there and Ganesha. So I personally love this office, but it just take a little bit extra working, to get set up in here. But that's a whole side note, right? But imagine, oh, you know what, LaKenta? I'm glad you mentioned the flower of life, because I was supposed to talk about that and I forgot to write it down. So thank you for bringing that up. That's so true. The flower of life, the flower of creation in itself is really revealing that energy to us. But imagine this, right? I'm going to share my screen with y'all. Imagine if we were shown things like this as kids, right? Is that what I wanted to see? No, not that one. Imagine if we were shown, I pulled up a whole nother page that I want to show y'all this. Yeah, right here. Boom, share. Imagine if we were shown stuff like this as kids, or as teenagers at least. Imagine if as a teenager, you were shown this entrance to a cave or into a mountain that looks like a vagina, right? Like, imagine if we were shown, let me see, even this, a tree. Imagine if we were shown that. So good. Look at this, into a cave. You cannot make that up. Imagine if our parents or somebody would have said, look at how this rock is emulating a vagina. Look at how this, I don't even know what that is, a tree stump or something. Right? I should have went and found all the pictures that I wanted to show y'all before I went live. But there's so many pictures. Look at this. This looks like literally looks like a woman's vagina and then her legs off to the side, right? So imagine if we would have been shown stuff like that. We would not feel less than or inferior as women, right? We would not feel subservient to like the patriarchal society, because we would know, like, what? God created all of these beautiful life forms after us. And so that's what I want to help us to remember in my work. In all the classes that I teach, from womb alchemy to my new class that I'm doing that is starting July 6th and 7th, Alchemy of the Goddess. I'm going to tell y'all about that. My work right now, and has always been, the remembrance of this sacredness. And we're only just getting started. we're only just getting started with how synchronistic and how aligned, we are to nature and we are to flowers as women. So again, if y'all have never heard The Secret Life of Plants by Stevie Wonder, it's a great album to meditate to. Before I keep going, let me say hey to y'all. Hey Tanika, hey Butterfly Purple Silver, hey Love, hey Dee Dee, hey Iman, hey Rising Vibes, hey Stacy, hey Violin Girl, hey Rose. I think I said Dee Dee, but if I didn't, hey Dee Dee again. Hey LaKinta, hey I Am Infinite Being, hey. Wow. Beautiful, beautiful. Let me see what I Am Infinite Being says. They do say that this place was once all women and women could have children without a man. Oh, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you that through the observation of a flower. So thank you for saying that. Very true. Iman says, yep, we have all the chromosomes to create life, but we allow to receive of the chromosome from the man. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So true. And I'm going to show y'all how this works because this is so freaking powerful. So the obvious connection, right? The obvious connection between women and flowers is, of course, our lips, our labia, the vulva of our vaginas, right? All of that is the obvious connection. Like we can see that from the outside looking in. But as I did a little research, y'all, look at this. This is the anatomy of a flower. So this thing right here that you can see called the column, what do we call that for the women? Look at this. It's a little, let me see, do I still got it? No, not right here. Look at this column on this orchid flower. That column is also the clitoris. How beautiful is that? Right? And then funny enough, also, let me make it big like this. Also on the orchid, right? They even have a word that they call the lip on the flower. Like what? And you want to know something so beautiful with an orchid that I just love is that when an orchid is blooming, at first it's closed off. It's like this, right? Let me go big screen. Okay. When a flower or when an orchid, most flowers and orchids, before they bloom, they're closed off like this, right? And then as they start to bloom, they start to open up more and more and more, revealing the inner being of themselves, right? And so this is, as women, this is what we do. Side note, this is why when we are engaging in sexuality, right? When we are trying to have some sacred sex as women, this is why we cannot rush that process. A lot of times as women, we are in our wounded selves or even in our egos, right? Maybe it's, okay, let me hurry up and get this done for this man who I'm really not in love with. So I just want to just get it done, right? Or we're in a space of, I'm tired. I don't have time. I don't feel like it. But I know if I don't give him this sex, he's going to be frustrated. He's going to be mad. He's going to have a problem with me. So let me just open it up, right? Or it's the fact that you're just not feeling safe in sexuality in general. And so you're closed off, right? And so you may be coming together in intimacy and not even experiencing the full depth of pleasure because you're not really open. So to me, I've learned major lessons in this. Because there were times in my past where I did not have a mental, emotional, spiritual connection to a person, and we would engage in that level of intimacy, and it wasn't pleasurable, right? It wasn't good. It wasn't liberating, which is what sacred sex is supposed to do. Sacred sexuality is supposed to liberate you. It's supposed to take you higher in consciousness. It's supposed to connect you deeper to who you really are. It opens you up to the divine. It opens you up to God. Right? But when we aren't fully open and surrendering and receiving, right? When we're like a flower that's barely ready to bloom, right? When we're like a flower that's a little bit open, right? The amount of pleasure that we are meant to feel is not embodied, it's not ingratiated because we haven't fully opened up to the receivership of that masculine energy. Okay? So it's very interesting. And I know you ladies understand. I know y'all get it. I know y'all feel it, because our wombs have a sacred communication, right? Just like these trees, like what Stevie Wonder was saying, just like the trees and the flowers are talking to each other without words that we can comprehend as human beings, our wombs have a sacred communication that they just get each other. They just talking to each other without words being exchanged. And so because my womb has had a certain experience, your womb can also feel and pick up on that experience. Okay. So your womb, when I'm telling you the story of I've had moments of not being completely opened and blooming as a flower. I've had moments where I was a shell of myself. I've had moments where I was closed up and not receptive, but still engaging in relationships, still engaging in sex. I've had moments like that where I did not experience the full love and liveliness that sexuality is. Because I've had those moments, because my womb has had those experiences, your womb can pick up on it, right? Your womb is like, okay, I get it, sis. Yeah, I've been there too. Okay. So, as ladies, whenever you are engaging in intimacy with a partner, mind, body, and heart connection is going to be so important in order for you to truly open up like a flower, in order for you to truly bloom and blossom. And then, brothers who are making contact with this video, you shouldn't even want to engage with a woman if she is not fully turned on, turned up, and engaged with you on a mental, emotional, and spiritual level. If she's not there with you, brother, you shouldn't even want to engage with her like that, right? And that would be symbolic. It's a bug flying around right outside this window. That would be symbolic of your personal power as a man, your personal strength as a man, and your discipline as a man to not give to a woman who is not ready and willing to receive of you. Okay? That'll really speak a lot to your maturity. So, anyways, the obvious connection between the flower and the woman is this external anatomy, right? But did y'all know? Oh God, LaKenta said that would lead to the distinction between sex and effing. Very true. Very true. That opening up, oh my God, that opening up. And then I would even say real intimacy, real closeness, real openness. And you know what it requires? It requires a certain level of vulnerability, right? You can't just get there because you just are aroused. Even just being aroused is not enough. If we as women don't feel safe with our partners, our womb is still closed. Yes, they can enter the physical structure of your vagina. Okay. And I know it's early. We already going hard. It's early. It's only 10:30 here. It's 11:30 where some of y'all are, and I know we're talking about sex early, but it's all good, right? This is just the reality. Some of y'all be you know how it goes, y'all. Sometimes your vagina is open and receiving of masculine energy, but your womb is still closed. So that's the difference. So when we're talking about things like infertility, when we're talking about things like not being able to manifest or birth or bring certain things into reality, right? This is all symbolic of a closed womb, a closed energetic womb, not just the physical structure. And a closed womb also represents a closed heart. And so that's why I say mind, body, heart has to be in the intimacy so that you can really open up. Because when you really open up, now you have access to infinite creation, infinite possibilities. So when I work with clients who have dealt with infertility, one of the things that I tell them is that it's going to be so important to feel safe in love. And I tell them to love, 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 love. You and your partner focus on cultivating and creating more and more and more unconditional love. And you know, when that happens, conceiving a child becomes so much easier. Yes, you may still need some medical intervention. Yes, you may still need that support, but it just becomes easier because your heart is open. And when your heart is open, your womb is open. And so, for a lot of women, I'm telling you, you are like this flower. And so many of us, we love flowers. I personally love flowers. I love to observe flowers. But the beauty in it is that the observing of a flower, which is another very spiritual aspect, is the observance of our own beauty, the observance of our own resilience. Think about this. Flowers got to deal with the sun. They got to deal with the rain. They got to deal with the wind. They got to deal with all types of animals coming in, extracting from them, right? Which is all a powerful and beautiful thing. But flowers have to be resilient in order for them to stay beautiful and stay blooming in the way that they do. They got to deal with humans coming and picking them so that we can put them in our vases and have them as centerpieces on our tables. Okay? Think about us as women. We have to deal with that as well. Rain. We got to deal with the emotion, right? The emotion that we feel, the emotion of others. All right? Sun. Sometimes things get hot. Sometimes life gets hot, right? Sometimes we have this passion, this fire, this desire. Sometimes other people have this passion, this fire and desire that can impede on our free will, right? Wind. We have to deal with the thoughts of other people, right? We got to deal with our own thoughts and energy. That's why flowers really symbolize beauty and resilience. And guess what? We as women are that as well. We are resilient and we maintain our beauty despite what we've been through. And as a woman, if you're not feeling beautiful, you need to join the class, Alchemy of the Goddess. As a woman, if you feel that you aren't being appreciated for your beauty, you need to join the Alchemy of the Goddess 2-day intensive. Here's the thing. Beauty is not just about the aesthetic, right? Like, we love the vibrancy of a flower. We love how it looks, but flowers give off information, and we're going to get into that. So y'all want to understand that as well. Our beauties, ladies, is about the energy that we radiate. It's about what we share, how we share of ourselves. It's about our hearts being open and us projecting that energy outward. It's not about how we can hold on to things, right? It's not just about how beautiful your hair is, how your eyes are, and your lips, and your body, and all of that. Like, all of that has its place. All of that 100% has its place. But beauty is really about you having a heart that is light. You having a heart that is love. You having a heart that is free. That's what beauty really is, okay? Did y'all know this? Did y'all know this? This is so funny. Did y'all know that flowers have ovaries? Y'all let me know in the comments if y'all knew that flowers have ovaries. Who would have thunk it? Who would have thought that flowers have ovaries? I didn't know. I did not know until I decided to research this. Flowers have ovaries and ovuli. So this is the same thing that we as women have. And it's so, like, mind-blowing to me. Like, what the hell is a flower doing having an ovary? But it does. But it does. Okay? The ovary is this area right here where you can see my mouse. Hopefully y'all can see my mouse. That's the ovary. And the ovule is the eggs. Flowers have freaking eggs, y'all. This is stuff that we were never taught about. Maybe because we're not botanists. Maybe we're not into, knowing the depth of nature in that way. But flowers literally have ovaries. And the reason why what Iman and what I Am Infinite Being said was so good was because they said we have the power. We as women in ancient times used to be able to conceive a child without the help of a man. We know this from the birth story of Jesus, right? Mary was impregnated by the spirit, right? She was not impregnated by a physical man. She was impregnated by God, right? And, who's to say that she was the only one that could do that, right? We don't want to limit ourselves as women. But the fact that she did it, to me, is symbolic that this power dwells in all women. Here's the beautiful thing about the flower that really reinforces this idea. In the flower, they have something called the stamen, which is masculine energy, and the stigma, which is feminine energy. Oh my God. So literally within a flower is both masculine energy and feminine energy. The stamen of the flower is the masculine energy. The stigma of the flower is feminine energy. Now, I could have went into a whole nother deep dive about the etymology of those words, but what we can say is the stamen being masculine energy. You know what men need whenever they putting in that work with a good woman? When they're trying to bring that woman to her ultimate pleasure, they need stamina, okay? They need stamina, okay? So that is just hilarious within itself to know that a flower has a stamen and a stigma. And we're going to talk about the difference between those two, right? So the stamen, let me go back to it so y'all can see it, right? So the stamen, which is this part of the flower, right? We've seen this before time and time again. You could even go outside in your backyard right now or in your neighborhood, wherever you are, pick up a flower and you will be able to see these things, right? You'll be able to see these things. So the stamen, it represents masculine energy. It represents masculine energy within the flower. And what it does is it produces and releases the pollen. Let me ask y'all if y'all knew this. Did y'all know that pollen is literally a sexual reproduction offspring in a sense? Did y'all know literally that pollen is a sexual reproductive substance that flowers create? Like, you're thinking that pollen is just out in nature making you sneeze, making your car turn yellow, and just causing allergies and irritation. Pollen is literally a sexual reproductive substance that flowers use. Did y'all know that? So beautiful. So beautiful to understand. Y'all let me know if y'all knew that, because I knew pollen did. Yes. Earth Angel Tribe said pollen is sperm and it's all over the place. Yummy. Exactly. And so what ends up happening is the stamen, right? The masculine side of the flower, it is producing the pollen and releasing it. It's producing it and releasing it. The stigma, which is this long part of the flower here, what it does is it collects the pollen and it brings it down into like the ovary area of the flower, right? And this is how flowers continue to recreate themselves, right? This is how they continue to be present. So what ends up happening, which I think is just so awesome, is that the stamen, the masculine side of the flower, it creates the pollen and it releases it. And then it will either be blown by wind. So this cosmic information, this divine information, this reproductive information will either be blown by wind and carried out and land on other flowers or land on nature itself to reproduce more flowers. Or this is where bees come into play. Bees and other animals will go to that, other insects, I should say, will go to that flower, pick up that pollen and go drop it into other flowers. This is so freaking divine. How does this correspond with women? As women, we know that we both have masculine and feminine energies inside of us, right? And one of the things that I want all of you ladies to know is that if you want to attract the sacred love and the spiritual power that you desire, you have to open up and let your pollen flow free. Okay, I talked about this in the Awakening Divine Feminine Energy for Sacred Love. The reality is that we are meant to be magnetic, right? We are meant to be magnetic. We are meant to be attracting certain energies. The bees are supposed to come to you, sis. The butterflies are supposed to come to you, sis. Okay, they're supposed to come to you. But if that attraction mechanism is not operating, if you're not getting the opportunities, right? Okay, let me be very frank. If you're walking into a store or a restaurant and people ain't looking, right? Women and men, because let's just be clear. Women love to see other beautiful women. We love it. When I see another woman that is vibrant, beautiful, glowing, her pollen is radiating, she's sending out a message, she's spreading her information, her energetic information is spreading and radiating. I love to see it. I love to see it. But also, men love to see it. They're like, they're like, oh shit, who that, right? So if that's not happening, ladies, when you walk into a room, whether it's at your job, whether it's you going to an event, a party, this grocery store, if when you walk into a space, you're not getting that attraction mechanism, people aren't looking, you're closed off. You're energetically closed off, which means to me, it's kind of, if we visualize it as your aura, it's like you have this veil over your aura, right? It's like you have a blanket covering yourself. It's like the high schoolers that know it's hot as hell outside, but they're wearing hoodies. Have y'all been seeing that where y'all are? Like where we are in Houston, when we're driving to pick up our kids from school, we see high schoolers that put a hood over their head and they tighten it up like embarrassment on in and out. Oh, inside out too. And they're hiding. So as women, you may be wondering, like, why am I not getting the attention? Why am I not? And I'm not talking about attention in a negative sense. I'm talking about even just the looks, even just the awareness of you. If people are unaware of you, this says that it's like you're in a hoodie and you're hiding. But it's energetic. You may be wearing a crop top and some short shorts. You may be wearing a beautiful sundress, looking gorgeous. But an energetic shield has been placed over you that stops you from pushing your energy outward. And it may be a form of protection. For a lot of women, it's a form of protection. I know this to be true as well because I've worked with these women. Some women will unconsciously gain weight. I had a client that I worked with who put on a whole bunch of weight and she knew it. She was like, I know that I'm not supposed to be carrying this weight, but I'm carrying all of this weight. And I know I'm carrying this weight because I don't want men to like me. I don't want men to find me attractive. I don't want men to look at me. So I'm just going to have more weight on my body than what is natural and what is normal for me as a way of me hiding. Okay. So that again is like the closed off flower. It's you not wanting to spread your pollen, you not wanting to radiate your energy to attract, what it is you say you want. So a lot of women are like, I want sacred love and deep connection, but as a flower, you're actually closed off. As a flower, you're not spreading your energy, spreading your light. All right. So this really happens. I know a lot of women that wear black. And they'll tell the story, oh yeah, black is just my favorite color. When we peel back the layers, I've literally had clients, we would peel back the layers and say, is black really your, I know black is a powerful color. Black is power. Black is creation. Black is potential. But if you're wanting sacred love and connection, you wearing that black t-shirt, right? Or that black whatever, unless it's an LBD, unless it's a little black dress and you going out at night and you got you some high heels on and you glowing and you glistening, you got a red lip on. Come on, I can tell you how to get it in black. But a lot of times you're not getting it in black, right? You got on black, you got your hair pulled back, no makeup, nothing on, no lipstick, no vibrancy, nothing that's going to draw out that black. And so I asked him, like, is black really your favorite color? Like, why are you really walking around wearing black every day? Like every time we come into this consultation, you got on a black shirt. Oh no, I just like black. It's just comfortable. It's just, you're hiding. And you're not spreading your light. You're not spreading your energy so that you can attract, because you're afraid of the attraction, right? I had another client, always wear hair in ponytails. This was her. Ponytail slick to the back. Every time we had a consultation, her hair was in a low ponytail. And I said to her, I said, why do you wear your hair in a ponytail? She says, ooh, because I got a lot of hair and it just be a lot to work with. And I was like, oh yeah, that sounds good. I mean, I get it. I said, but you want to attract sacred love, right? Like, you want a partner, right? Yeah, I do want a partner. Well, honey, your partners ain't seeing you with that hair slicked back in that ponytail. For real? You really think so, D-Ray? I know so. And I said, how do women in the military have to wear their hair? All women in the military, when they're on the job, when they're working, hair slicked back, low ponytail. Period. And that within itself is radiating masculine energy. That within itself is radiating control. That within itself is radiating contained. Can't allow myself to be free. Men love women that are free, not sexually free. I'm talking about, even though they like that too, but I'm talking about energetically free. You let your hair down, right? You let your hair down, you let it flow, whether your hair is in an afro, whether your hair is in locks, whether your hair is straight, whatever, whether it's a weave, letting yourself be free. You look like fun. Dream was talking about this on his live stream yesterday, where he was talking about women want to have fun. Women want an adventure in their relationships. They don't want the person that looks like they're just going to bore them. Well, men have the same thing too, ladies. They don't want to date a woman that always got her hair in a low ponytail. She always wears black. She never wears lipstick, right? She never positions herself to be seen. That looks boring. That doesn't look fun. The thing that we love about flowers the most is its vibrancy, is its color. That's what we love about flowers the most. We look at a flower, we see this beautiful color. We see how open it is, especially when a flower is in full bloom. This is what we love about it the most. So as women, we can't be afraid of being seen. We can't be afraid to be vibrant, right? So even if you are wearing dark colors, even if your hair is pulled back, at least have on some big earrings or something. At least have on some lipstick. At least do something that makes your eyes pop out, right? Do something that still creates that energy of, I'm open, I'm available, I'm not closed off. And that's a lesson that flowers teach us. Now, the feminine side of, and listen, ladies, you understanding that is you understanding masculine energy. Okay? And the way that you can understand masculine energy is by acknowledging the masculine energy that dwells inside of you. Because even us as women, we can identify an attractive woman. We can. Typically, women, we love beautiful women. We love vibrant women. That it just is what it is. And that's the masculine side of us that is able to acknowledge that beauty and appreciate that beauty in another woman. So you accepting the masculine energy that dwells inside of you is you understanding that men want a woman who is radiant, who is glowing, right? Even when we think about the trophy, one thing we know about trophies is that they're gold, they're glistening, they're shining. And if you want sacred love and sacred partnership, even though you may want a man that is spiritual, that does not mean that he's going to settle on you always wearing pants, never being able to wear a dress in flow or a skirt, always wearing black, always having your hair pulled back. Spiritual men still want a vibrant woman. Okay? They do. So don't I don't want ladies who are out there seeking love. I don't want you to think in your mind that, oh, I'm just going for a spiritual man and my appearance doesn't matter, right? The energy that I am projecting doesn't matter. It absolutely does matter. It matters a lot, okay? Because how you appear in the energy that, first of all, I truly feel like this. When you look good, you feel good, you feel good, you look good. Okay? So I just want to tell you, ladies, dress up more, wear color, put on some lipstick, put on some mascara, right? Just do those little things. Those little things make you more magnetic, and those little things are you honoring the masculine, okay? Because men are very visual. And if you want to attract sacred love, you need to honor that. Don't deny that. You are a beautiful flower, and we love flowers for their vibrancy. We love flowers for their beauty. Okay? Hell, this morning, I'll tell y'all a real life situation. So this morning, Dream went to the gym this morning, and I got up and, got dressed, but he was walking in the house, and I still had my bonnet on my head. And I just took it off. I took it off because I said, I'm beautiful either way, but I'm more beautiful without my bonnet on my head and having my locks. You know what I mean? Just set them free. So when he walked in the house from the gym, I just took my bonnet off my head because I would rather him see just my natural face or whatever rather than seeing this little black thing on my head, So that may seem small, right? That may seem minute, but that little thing is still important. And I'll tell y'all, I like to walk around the house looking good, even though Dream just told me I look like I'm not even gonna say what he told me I look like. I ain't even gonna put us out there like that. But when I'm moving around my house, I like to still look feminine. Like, I'm not the type of woman, even though it can be attractive for women to wear large shirts with some like little booty shorts or something like that. You may look real cute in that. But for me, I still like to walk around my house in little dresses, little short shorts, nice little, like maybe some short shorts and like a sports bra or something, or a bralette, something like that. I like to walk around my house still looking cute. Right? Still looking cute. And it's effortless cute. It's not hard work cute. I'm putting this on. This is kind of cute. And if I have things that I feel like are not easy for me to put on, that are not comfortable, that make me feel good, I get rid of it. I'm like, okay, this ain't giving me the vibe. So this is what I'll say for women. Within your wardrobe, everything should make you feel beautiful. If you have clothes that don't make you feel beautiful, you should get rid of it. Period. Anything you put on should make you feel good. This is so funny. The other day, I was going through my clothes, and I saw some stuff that I could still very much so fit, but I was like, I just don't feel beautiful in it. So I got to get rid of it. It just has to go. So we do that for ourselves as a way of us loving, embracing who we are, but it also makes us more attractive to our partners and to potential partners. Let me see what Dream just said here. Females emit energy of thoughts when their autonomous self says, I am beautiful. So true. I tell you, I'm glad you said that, babe, because when we first got together, this is when I was really working on my self-love and my beauty. And I remember I had just went natural. So that's a big thing. Ladies, when we cut our hair off and we go natural and we're starting to wear the curls, that is such a transition for us. Because I was used to wearing not wigs, but I was used to having sew-ins or wearing a lot of braids, not really nurturing my natural hair. And so when I had graduated from college, hell, I just graduated from college. I don't have the money to be spending $300 on some bundles and then $200 on the install. It just was too much. It was just not worth it. So I said, you know what? I got to learn how to do my hair. And so I started rocking my natural hair, and it was a process. But the biggest thing that made me successful in that process was not sitting there watching all the YouTube videos on how to take care of natural hair, even though I did that and I learned and I loved it. The biggest thing for me was just getting in the mirror and telling myself I'm beautiful regardless. Just getting in the mirror and telling myself I'm beautiful no matter what my hair looks like. I'm beautiful. I'm gorgeous. I'm gorgeous. I'm gorgeous. I'm gorgeous. And I did that so much that I programmed myself for that beauty. And then I remember, some of y'all may have heard this story before, but it was Martin Luther King Day. Me, Dream, his best friend, and my best friend, we're out in the car. and we're going to a Martin Luther King Day parade. Funny enough, Dream and I would not go to a Martin Luther King parade now. Like, I don't know what we were doing then or what has changed about us from then till now, but that's not even something that we're thinking about, right? But we're in the car, Martin Luther King parade. He's driving. I'm in the passenger seat. His best friend and my best friend are in the back seat. And his best friend is like, you know, he like you, right? I was like, what you talking about? No, I don't know he like me. He's never told me that. And he's like, yeah, you know, he like you. He trying to holler. He trying to whatever. Babe, and you so funny because why was your friend saying that and you were saying that? Like, why was your friend the one that was telling me that instead of you? We ain't never talk about that. I mean, did you and your friend have a conversation prior to us getting together that day? Did you tell your friend, hey, I want you to tell Desiree I find her attractive, okay? Like, what was that about? Because we never talked about how that even happened. But anyways, it happened. And I was like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. He ain't never said that to me. And then Dream says, I mean, yeah, you my type, of course. I mean, you beautiful. You got natural hair. You this, you that. You always smiling. So that inner work of me feeling so beautiful within myself, it didn't matter what my hair looked like, what my skin looked like, what my body looked like. I just had to feel good about me first and foremost. I had to just know that I was a beautiful flower, right? And that I was blooming and blossoming. And that love created something beautiful with Dream to where he started to be like, I am feeling you. And I was like, okay, all right, I guess I kind of like you too. And then from that moment on, we started to get closer and closer and closer. And I will even tell y'all on another level, after we had our firstborn, my body was just so different. That was my first shock of after you have a baby, your body changes. You got stretch marks. That six pack that I once had is not there, right? You know, I just had to embrace the fact that my body had changed. And after our firstborn, it was hard for me to embrace that my body was different. It was hard for me to feel sexy with this new body that had just birthed a child. And so I knew I had to do the mental alchemy. I knew I had to do the mental work. And so I would look at myself in the mirror, look at those stretch marks, look at the fact that now I got this quote unquote baby fat. And I just had to tell myself, I'm sexy. I'm sexy because I'm a mother. I'm sexy because I just had a baby. I'm sexy because I just look good. I had to tell myself that. Sure enough, after telling myself that for a while, Dream started to say it more to me out of nowhere. Damn, babe, you looking sexy. I'm like, oh, for real? Mind you, y'all, I wasn't working out. I wasn't doing anything different. The only thing different that I was doing was convincing myself that I was sexy with this new body. That's it. Convincing myself that I am sexy with the stretch marks, with the fat, with whatever. I'm sexy. And so as I did that, he started to pick up on that energy. So as women, we got to feel good about ourselves. And you know what? Where that's going to come from? That's going to come from opening up your heart. My heart, before I started to feel like a beautiful flower, my heart was hard. My heart was disappointed. My heart felt rejected. My heart felt let down. My heart felt unaccepted. My heart felt, still like I was just abandoned and that I wasn't worthy of that attraction and that sacred love and that deep connection. And so as I healed my heart, now my aura is expanding out more. Now that my aura expands out more beautifully, now I'm able to receive, right? And that's the thing about divine feminine energy. That's the thing about the flower. The flower, when it opens up and it blooms, it starts to spread its information, i.e. pollen. I was talking about this in the group. That pollen is like your pheromones, ladies. Like men can just smell you. And you want the right man to smell you. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Okay. Let's see. Thank you for the donation, Rise and Vibes. I appreciate that, sis. Right? Occult Examiner, welcome to the page. I'm glad you found me as well. Okay. So literally, ladies, we are giving off an aura. And men, you are doing the same thing too. But we're giving off an aura. We're giving off an energy. We're giving off a fragrance, a smell. Y'all seen, okay, let me ask y'all this. Have y'all ever dated somebody and for some reason the way that they smell just didn't sit right with you? I'm not talking about on top of the cologne. I'm talking about underneath the cologne. I'm talking about they could be fresh out the shower and just who they are without lotion, without perfume, without any of those things. They just have a smell. They just have a scent. Have y'all ever noticed that? You want the right person's scent. You want the right person's pheromones. You want the right person's aura to be attracted to you and you to be attracted to them. But ladies, you're not even putting that energy and that aura out because you've been closed off. Okay? Thank you, LaKinta, for validating that. If y'all have never paid attention to that, pay attention to it now. Like if you're dating someone or you may even work with someone and you may just be like, I don't know. It's just something about them where you just like, exactly. I like that. She said, his sense hits my senses and my goodness. Exactly. It's like that. But for a lot of ladies, we're not projecting that energy. Our pheromones, our pollen isn't going out and being picked up by that divine masculine counterpart. And therefore, you can't attract the sacred love and the sacred relationships. And if you're not putting out, you can't be open to receive. Okay? As women, we got to be open to receive. When a flower opens up, listen, when a flower opens up, best believe bees are coming to her. She's receiving the pollen that the bee is dropping off. That's what the stigma does. The stigma, the feminine side of the flower, is this long stick that comes out the middle of a flower. We've all seen it before. And what it does is it receives the pollen that is blown in the wind. It receives the pollen that the bees drop off on it, and it draws it into itself. It's receptive. In fact, at the bottom of a flower is called a receptacle. And what do we call women? The receptacle. The receptacle, the receiver. Look at this right here. Receptacle, which is at the base of the ovaries. We as women are the receptacle of men. We are the receptacle of life. We are the receptacle of energy in general. We are receivers of energy. So, ladies, when your heart is closed off, when your body is closed off, when your womb is closed off, you can't be the receptacle. You can't receive, right? And there are so many gifts. There's so much power. There's so much enlightenment that we are supposed to activate through our receiving. I want you ladies to understand that in your receiving, you are giving. In your receiving, you are giving. Whether that's you're giving life to children, you're giving healing. A lot of, when you come together in sacred love and deep connection, when you receive that man into your heart, into your being, into your body, when you receive him, you heal him. You give him healing. You give him higher levels of consciousness. You give him transformation. So a lot of women are like, ooh, I don't want to receive because I don't want to feel like I owe somebody anything. Lady, your receiving is giving. You will never owe anybody anything because you received. Especially when it's coming from the divine masculine. It's impossible, right? It's impossible. You are naturally a giver to men, okay? So I love what Dream was saying because I wanted to talk about this real quick too. Flower. If we break that down, we get flow, her. Flow, her. And so what that means is, ladies, we are meant to be fluid. We are meant to be fluid. We are meant to be releasing this sacred, powerful substance from our bodies and from our beings. And this substance is activated. So even with the flower, on the stigma, the feminine side of the flower, it's sticky. It's sticky. Ladies, especially if you be paying attention, when your sacred flow, when your sacred flow is sticky, what does that mean? Let's see if y'all know. Let me know in the comments. And brothers, some of y'all might know. Some of y'all may know. Let me know in the comments. When your sacred flow is sticky, what does that mean? If you don't know, you need to stick around to know because you should know. Come on. Come on, Bree B. You fertile. You're fertile. You're in ovulation mode. You ready to make a baby. The stigma, the feminine side of the flower, why in the hell is it sticky? Literally, they have scientifically proven that the stigma on a flower is sticky. Why? So when that pollen, that information, that semen, that sperm, when it blows on it, it catches it. How beautiful is that? That is so freaking powerful. So ladies, if you're ever tracking your ovulation, men, if you trying to be careful with your girl and you don't want her to get pregnant, you need to pay attention to the texture and the consistency of her divine flow. If it's sticky, you in baby making mode. And you need to do something different, okay? You need to protect yourself, do something different if you're not trying to have children. So that's just a side note. But overall, the flower, the flow her, reminds us that as women, we are meant to flow. We are meant to be like water, right? Make me sweat, make me harder, make me lose my breath, make me water. Hey, she done told you in the song, but y'all already knew that. We are meant to be like water. Flow like water is what we're meant to do. So, spiritually and energetically speaking, this is when we are in control, when we're holding on tight, right? When we don't know how to let go, when we don't know how to let our hair down and let our hair blow in the wind, all of that is about flow. Okay? Got that hair in that pulled back ponytail? That's restriction. That's tightness. That's a lack of flow. Not being able to move those hips, right? You go out to the club or you go out to a bar and there's music playing and you just want to sit there like this, right? You don't know how to move your body, or you need alcohol to set you free. You need alcohol to let your hair down. All of that is symbolic of being super restrained and contained and not in your flow. And in order to attract sacred love, in order to even tap into your spiritual power, you have to be in flow. Spiritually speaking, another thing of flow is being an open channel. So I'm in flow right now as I'm talking to y'all. I'm an open channel. I'm not thinking about what I have to say. I'm just allowing the words to flow through me and from me. Flow. So that what goes into spiritual power. A lot of the times, even our spiritual power as women, we want to contain it, right? We want to put stipulations on when and how we're going to use our magic. And at some point that is necessary. But when you're just getting started with understanding the magical being you are, you got to let it flow. Like Toni Braxton said, let it flow, okay? You got to learn to let it flow. That allowing of that flow, that allowing the relationships to flow. A lot of times you're like, okay, we've been dating for 2 months. Right now, we need to be trying to make it official. After a few months, you need to be putting a ring on it. After that, we need to have that wedding. After that, we need to have that first baby. Da, da, da. Even that is a lack of flow. Putting stipulations on how the relationship unfolds is you trying to be in control, and it's blocking the manifestation of your sacred love. Okay? So flowers show us to flow spiritually and energetically, right? Letting things in life move easily, not having to control or contain everything, but also trusting the process. But then also that sacred flow is your sacred water. And so I'll say to you ladies again, when you are dating, or if you're in a relationship, or if you're married, do not rush the process of intimacy if you aren't flowing. Okay? Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? If you aren't flowing, If those liquids are not moving, sis, you're not in your power, because a part of your power is that divine flow, is that divine, magical, liquid, Kali's flow. Because within that flow is information. Within that flow is information. Within that flow is healing. So you rushing the process and y'all not having that foreplay, you're not getting actually aroused, you might as well throw the whole experience away. Okay? I'm glad y'all picking up what I'm putting down. Let me see. Occult Examiner, I would love to have you come and talk on a panel of women who wish to help bring back the sacred divine. I would love that too. Send me an email, or it would have to be an email, because otherwise YouTube don't have no like DM thing. So definitely send me an email. I would love to have that conversation. I was just having a conversation yesterday on another sister's platform about divine relationships and how to bring those things into fruition. All right, y'all. So I just want y'all to understand that flowers, baby, we are it. Literally, God created flowers after us. And so we have to know this about ourselves and embody that energy, love that about ourselves, embrace that about ourselves. And if this content to you right now is resonating and you want to learn how to be in your flow, sis, join my upcoming 2-day intensive. For 2 days in a row, we're going to be doing work at the Alchemy of the Goddess intensive. It's happening July 6th and July 7th. I'm going to drop the link in the chat right now for those of y'all who might be interested. Day 1, we're going to work through breaking the inner barriers to your sacred love and to your sacred flow and to your femininity, right? Like my barrier was abandonment. My barrier was control. My barrier was rejection. So we got to break that barrier, kick that door down. Once we kick that door down, on day 2, we're going to embrace the goddess so that we actualize that sacred love and that spiritual power. So day 2 is going to be all about knowing what your magic is, knowing what your love style is, knowing how you magnetize and attract and draw in. You may not be a speaker like me, right? You may not be a coach like me. You may be an artist. You may be a creative. You may be a cooker. You may do a beautiful job working with kids. You may be a gardener. Who knows what your goddess energy is? But on day 2 of this intensive, we are going to figure out just what that is, and we're going to create a plan for you to go out into your life and embody that energy consistently so that you can bring in that sacred love and really live from your place of spiritual power. So if y'all are interested in that, I just dropped it in the chat for y'all to be able to join that after tomorrow. So on Saturday, the price for this 2-day intensive is going to go up. Okay, on Saturday, the price is going to go up. So y'all probably want to go ahead and tap in right now. You get lots of bonuses that come with it. And if you know me, you know it's always going to be on point. Anyways, do y'all have any questions? Let's see if y'all have any questions about anything divine feminine energy, anything about the flower, the flow, her sexuality, sensuality, just divine feminine magic within itself. If y'all have any questions or any comments, I would love for us to talk more about it. I know that this is resonating with a lot of you ladies. I love that. If you have any specifics that you feel like will support you, if you want any answers about specific things that will support you, I'm here for that. I am all here for that. Let me see if there were some questions in here I did not catch. C Noise 83 says they are under severe programming everywhere in the country. Exactly. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy that these kids are like hiding. They're literally hiding. So like in my household, whenever I see any of my kids trying to wear a hoodie when it's hot outside, I'm like, I know you're probably going to school. It's probably cold in the building. Let's put the hoodie in your backpack. Let's put the jacket in your backpack. And then when you get cold at school, then you pull it out and put it on. But we're not going to be walking around with a hood on our head, hiding, being afraid of ourselves or being afraid of being seen. Can't do that. Got to break through that barrier. Goddess, you are tapped in. Abundance of gratitude for sharing this with us. Of course, this is my pleasure. This is my purpose. This is what I love to do. This is what I enjoy. Okay. Not seeing any questions. Cool beans. Hopefully I will see y'all in the Alchemy of the Goddess class. All of the Patreon family. I'll see y'all on Saturday for the book club. And yeah, I love y'all. The YouTube notification is messing up. Glad I made it. Hey, Jenny girl, you made it right when you were supposed to make it. But I will say, go back and re-listen to this because it's just good and juicy. It's just good and juicy. Good and wet. Okay, good, wet, and juicy, which is the way that we are supposed to be as women, flowing. You will allow the females to go. Let me read this real quick. It says you must extract the male plant if you are unsure if it's female because it won't allow the females to grow. Oh my God. That's deep. You gotta extract, you gotta remove the male plant or it will not allow the females to grow. Oh my goodness. That's deep. That's super deep. That to me feels like, ladies, look, this control, that's the male plant, right? This fear of being sensual, sexual, flowing in your femininity, this fear of being seen, that's the male plant that got to be extracted, right? This lack of flow, that's the male plant that got to be extracted. Okay. This having to control the narrative, that's the male plant. Wearing all black, that's the male plant. Wearing your hair pulled back in a ponytail, not allowing your hair to be free, that's the male plant. Overly extending yourself and not just opening up and letting yourself be, letting things be magnetized to you, that's the male plant. Feeling like you gotta just be a go-getter, feeling like you gotta be a hunter, that's the male plant. I know so many women who have been, let's say, the aggressors in the relationship, as far as, or the aggressors in pursuing a relationship. That's not it. That's not it, sis. That's the male plant. These ladies that are getting down on one knee and proposing to their man, that's being a male plant, and you're not even allowing yourself to grow. Okay? Ladies that's like, ooh, I want him, I'm gonna go and get him. I feel you. I do feel you. But let me tell you why relationships like that don't work. Y'all want to hear some real shit? This is going to sound crazy, but it just is what it is. Men must, this is controversial, but men must love the woman more than the woman loves the man. I know it's controversial. And it's not a comparison of love per se, but because women are in surplus in comparison to men, if a woman is loving a man more than he is able to love her, he's going to probably have multiple women. He's going to preach the need to be in a polygamous relationship. He's going to need to, it just is what it is. So these women who are like hunting men down, or these women who are trapping men in a sense, these women who are making a man or even trying to force a man to be in a relationship with them, you're setting yourself up for failure, ladies, because it's different. If a man does not have that love, if you are not in a man's heart, the relationship is not going to work. He may be all in your heart. You may love him so deeply, but if you ain't in his heart, it's not going to work. So a man has to really love his woman. He has to really love her. He got to love her dirty draws, okay? Those are the best relationships. The best relationships are those relationships where, of course, there's mutual love. The woman loves her husband, but that man, oh, he loves her like it ain't nobody's business. Like she can get whatever she want out of him. And it's not anything that she's necessarily done. It's just her energy. It's her spirit. It just is what it is, y'all. I've seen it. And I'm telling y'all. So I sent out an email I sent out an email the other night. Yesterday I sent out this email because it was just real. So this past weekend, Dream and I were having some one-on-one time, some intimate time, right? And we were just looking into each other's eyes and kissing. And a tear just came down my right eye. One tear. And I said, "You got me over here crying." And he was like, "That's because you know I love your ass, right?" But that was so real to me. That was so real to me. It was that tear really represented the subconscious awareness that I am so deeply loved, like deeply loved and cared for. That's what that one tear down my eye really symbolized. Because I'm looking into his eyes. We are piercing through each other's souls, right? We know the eyes are the windows to the soul. So we're literally looking into each other's souls. Y'all know how many of y'all are in relationships and you've never really looked into each other's eyes, like deeply looked into each other's eyes? The reason why people are afraid to do that is because they're afraid they'll be seen. And you will. Your soul, your energy, your essence, your intentions, they will be seen, they will be discovered when you look into somebody's eyes. Men ain't even trying to look into your eyes. Some of y'all may be having a conversation with a man and diss him the whole time. You know what I mean? So men have to really love the woman that they are with in order for that relationship to have sustainability. And the women, of course, must love the man too. But what they really have to do is respect the man, respect his mind, respect his goals, respect his vision, whatever. Like that's a big thing. But for women, listen, if the scales are out of balance and your heart is more open and just susceptible to this man. So I tell you, ladies, you got to be in receivership. You have to be in that flow and you got to allow yourself to trust. So having emotion doesn't mean that you're like crying every day. It doesn't mean that you're easily triggered. It doesn't mean any of those things. It means that you just trust the internal communication that is happening. Your emotion, what you can sense and feel eternally, is communicating to you. It's giving you some divine insight and wisdom. But a lot of women that I've even worked with are hyper masculine in that they overthink, they overanalyze, right? They try to make their relationships unfold in this perfectly linear way, and that's just not what it is. You just can't. It just doesn't work like that. As women, we are cyclical, hence our menstruation cycles. Okay, we're cyclical in how we work. And so letting go of things having to be 1, 2, 3, 4, that's masculine energy that has to be extracted so that you can flourish as a woman, as a flower, as a beautiful divine being. So I love this for y'all. That's why we are bombarded with masculinity and told not to be emotional. Exactly, because they want to stunt your growth. They want to stunt your growth. Not allowing yourself to rest. That's the male plant. Girl, you better talk about it. You better talk about it. I used to feel bad. I used to feel bad that I sleep later and longer than Dream. Dream can get up 4:30, 5:30 o'clock, and he up and he to the races. No, baby, I need 7:30. I need 7:30. I can wake up early, of course, and I'll get it done. And it feels good when I wake up early sometimes. But I used to try to be like, oh, he's waking up so early. I guess I should be waking up so early too. Spirit said, no, you shouldn't. Because you wake up too early, you're going to be annoyed. You're going to be mad. You're not going to be your best self. You're going to be frustrated throughout the day. You need to stay in that bed and get your rest. Rest up, feel good, wake up in your sacred time. Of course, if you have responsibilities and things that you have to do, you got to get up. But don't compare how he's waking up to how you're waking up. You're divinely feminine. He's divinely masculine. He has to go out and hunt. you need to, create a safe, nurturing, emotional space. So you need to rest so that you can hold this emotional safety net for your whole family, for you, for the kids, for Dream, whatever. So we got to get out of that. Some people are naturally, some women may be natural with waking up early and all of that stuff like that. That's great. Do that. But rest. So if you know you got to wake up early, sis, you got to go to bed early. You can't be up late and waking up late. I mean, you can't be up late at night and waking up early. And then you waking up in the morning asking yourself, or you're going throughout your day asking yourself, why do I feel so masculine? Why do I feel so strong? Why am I not being seen? Why am I not being received? Why am I not getting this masculine attention that I desire? It could be as simple as you work an overnight job. And that nighttime is the time where you as a woman are supposed to be getting your beauty rest, your beauty sleep, Anyways, y'all, it's been a pleasure spending time with y'all on this lovely, lovely Thursday. I look forward to seeing you ladies in the Alchemy of the Goddess 2-day intensive. It's going to be absolutely delicious. We're doing straight work, right? We're doing straight work. I'm talking about visualizing, meditating, breaking through these barriers, having these major aha moments, and then putting the stuff in action. And I shouldn't even say work. We're going to be doing a lot of playing, because playing is like the ultimate feminine energy. Like, I'm about to go outside and play with my kids right now. So yeah, you ladies can have that, but we got to do the work. We got to do the inner work to activate that within ourselves. And I'm here to be your guide. I'm here to be your support and just to show you that it's possible. All right. I love you all, and we'll be talking soon. Peace and love.